What's up guys, Doomsday here. Today, we're back again. In this video, we're going to be playing some Rengar in the jungle. So this patch, Rengar has definitely been starting to get picked up way more, and it's starting to get recognized by people as one of the best junglers in the game. And in my opinion, it's probably a top tier jungler along with Lee. And I honestly think that it can be the best jungler if you have a very good player in Rengar. Just because Rengar is probably the most mechanically demanding champ out of all the junglers in my opinion. I think it has the highest skill ceiling, and there's so much you could do on Rengar. So getting a good player in Rengar, if you can actually master Rengar, you can easily climb up just because of how strong Rengar is right now. But for this match, we're going to be jungling up against a Graves, and Graves is another champ that's starting to get picked up more this patch. And I definitely think Graves is very solid. I don't know if I would say Graves is one of the best, or I wouldn't say Graves is like the best or anything, but I definitely rank him in probably S or A tier, one of those two. But Rengar is definitely S+. I think Rengar and Lee are S+. So to start off with in this match, I started with my normal red buff, and I decided to work my way down and just clear only my red side. And the reason for that is, looking at the top side of this map with a Misfortune Senna, plus I now see that Graves is doing the same clear as me. He's only clearing his red side. Playing for that top scuttle is going to be very hard just because of how much pressure they have. They have the entire priority because they have 2 ranged in their dragon lane compared to us. 1 range as an Alistar plus a Jinx, which is kind of weak early on. So if a scuttle fight breaks out there, that's not going to go in my favor. So instead, I decided to play for this bot side instead. I'm looking for the gank onto the Teemo. Force out the flash, pick up the kill, which was good. And now I know I can get this scuttle uncontested. Graves went for the top scuttle. As we saw, he did the exact same clear as me. So our jungles are pretty much identical at this moment. So I picked this up and looking for gank on mid. And ganking with Rengar is a bit tricky because you have to really utilize your perk. And over here, I see the Graves walk up, and look how much burst damage Rengar does. Look how much damage that does. And over here, I was trying to flash earlier. I accidentally fat fingered it, and I did not get it off fast enough. But now I'm just warding up his blue and resetting over here. I know he's resetting too, and he's probably going to do the same clear. He's going to go to his blue side just like how I am. So I pretty much know where he's going to be. Now for Rengar has a lot of button jamming, I'll say, and that's why my button layout might look so weird. I actually just started playing Rengar. This is like one of my first matches on Rengar, but I've just been testing out different button layouts since you have to be jamming your buttons super fast, and you don't want to be, mistyping or clicking and stuff like that. So I've just been seeing which ones I can get it off the fastest. And over here now, I know the Graves is doing his blue side, but look at what time it is on the match. It's about 2 minutes and 45 seconds into the match. So here now, notice how, first of all, the Graves is going to his Gromp. So I know that. So I know he's not even coming to his red side. But the most common jungle clear is, of course, red into Raptors. That's what most people do. So with that, a very good timer to know is that these Raptors respawn at about 2:30. And give or take a few seconds for each jungler in their clear. So I know that this was spawning and Graves was on his blue side. So I could easily go for that. But now I'm looking for a play on this top side over here. Because I know, again, the Graves is... I see him resetting right now, actually. So now I'm looking for this gank. I force out the flash, not able to get the kill. But I know exactly where Graves is coming right now. He's coming to his red side. Look at my wrist. Our jungle rotations are the exact same. I know my red side respawned, his red side respawns. So no, Graves is literally coming straight this way. So I'm keeping an eye out for this, and our bot lane duo does not recognize that. So I tried to zone out this Graves because I realized he was coming down this way. And I accidentally dove a bit too deep. That Graves damage is really strong early. People really don't realize how strong Graves is too right now. So sadly, that's kind of a throw on our part. The goal there was to go for that gank on that top side, maybe pick up a kill quickly and then back off. But I want to talk about when I went for that Raptor invade. So when going for that Raptor invade, something you have to pay really good attention to is the enemy mid lane. What is the enemy mid lane? In this case, it's a Ziggs. So I know a Ziggs can't capitalize on something too much if I'm a little bit mispositioned. Compared to a more aggro mid, like let's say there is a Yasuo mid that's level 5 and he can ult you, or let's say a Katarina that can easily chase you down. So that's just something to keep in mind if you are going to look for that invade there. And now I finished clearing my red side, but I want to talk about that gank I did on Misfortune earlier in that top lane. So when ganking with Rengar, a lot of people like to play for themselves, but something you have to consider is your teammates. So if you didn't see, when I went for that gank, the Alistar was having a hard time following up, and the Alistar couldn't get up their knock-up combo, which kind of screwed us over because we weren't able to get the burst that we needed. And On my part, what I did was I used my empowered first ability, which was a mistake. What I needed to do actually when going for that gank was use my empowered third ability to get the root, because with that root, that would have helped Alistar get in position to land their combo. And that's something to keep in mind in the late game too, especially. If you catch somebody out, sometimes instead of just playing for yourself and the most damage for yourself, setting up for your teammates can really help out more. So for example, landing that root can just make it easier for your teammates to land abilities, or to catch up and also land their CC too. So now I'm looking at this drag, and I see the Graves resetting here. So actually, what do I want to do? I actually want to rush this drag really quick right as this Graves resets. So now I'm pinging my teammates. Let's go for this drag because Rengar has insane dragon take. He could take drags super fast. So now I'm trying to rush this before Graves can get back. And I'm spam pinging my teammates. Nobody's coming, which is a bit unfortunate. My dragon lane could easily rotate and help me take this, but they did not. And here I get some really good healing from my second ability. Trying to get out of here. We were able to pick up that one kill. That was good. But we got the drag. That was a bit risky, honestly. ADCs are always the greediest players, I swear. ADCs, like, the Jinx gave up, like, they could have given up, like, that 3 or 4 minions that they last hit to help take the drag and not leave it to what it turned into, which almost turned into a disaster, but it worked out, so that's fine. But now I have my ult, and actually, what do I want to do? I'm actually looking to pull a fast one and try and grab this Herald without them noticing. So we killed the mid, meaning we have very good positioning in mid. So I know I can easily get this Ziggs rotate. Plus, we have good positioning in this Baron lane. So we have really good positioning advantage. And I actually ulted to cut across mid and to avoid any warding. And I actually don't think there's any wards on this. And the reason for that is we were just fighting at the drag for quite some time. As we saw, all of us were on the top side of the map for quite some time. So the odds that Herald is warded up is actually pretty low. Just because any wards that might have been there are probably ran out by then. So now I know that Graves had rotated to his blue side jungle. I'm keeping an eye out for that. But when playing Rengar, you really need to come into these matches knowing your combos and being comfortable with it. Since if you come into your matches and you're still trying to figure out your combos, you're going to be really slow in landing your combos. And that's going to screw you over as Rengar, because Rengar is the exact, like, you need speed. If you don't have speed on Rengar, you won't be a good Rengar, just because you got to button jam, you got to get to your empowered ability. That's really the key to Rengar. But now I know that the Graves is actually on his red buff. He just cleared his entire blue side. His red side is respawning right now, so that's what I'm trying to ping right now. And I'm keeping an eye out for it. I see the Graves over here. I tried to pick him up. Let's see, me and the Ziggs were thankfully able to get him. I'm low though. I can't really go back in for an engage underneath the turret. Especially I can't tank any turret shots, because I'm relatively squishy, so I have to back off here. I was debating whether I wanted to turn onto this. I'm looking at it, but I really don't get the engage that I want. Plus with the center there, I didn't want to get rooted by the center. That was the big part, was that if I engaged there and I got rooted by the center and I didn't get the cleanse from my empowered second ability, then that could really screw me over. So as you can see, I'm thinking about it. I really want to go for it, but instead I just choose to wait for my teammates. And this time, notice what I do. I'm waiting for my teammates to get in position. I'm waiting for the Alistar till he can get in good positioning. So over here now, I'm able to go into this misfortune. Sadly, I lose sight of him and it messes up the targeting. But a very good tip on Rengar is you could use these bushes on the side to gap close. If somebody's a bit far away, just run into the bush and then jump on him, because your perk will help you gap close. And over here, get hit by the Ziggs ult, and that Graves ult comes out of nowhere. I didn't even see him on my screen, man. That was a lot of range. I honestly didn't even see that. I wasn't expecting that. I was pretty much like 40% health. I didn't think I'd get bursted down like that. But I want to talk about the build that I'm going. The build that I'm going, there's stronger early game Rengar builds, but this build scales super well into the late game, and we're going to see that in this match. In the late game, if you can get good catch outs, if you can get onto an ADC or something, you will just two-shot them. I'm not even kidding. And you guys will see that. So it's Essence Reaver into Solaris, and then I'm building Protobelt for my enchantment just because I want some practice on Protobelt. Stasis is probably a better choice just because when you dive in really deep, a lot of times you're out of position, so Stasis will definitely help. But I'm keeping an eye out for the Graves again. I'm like, we got to watch it for the Graves. I know the Graves is over here. Let's see, I ult. I'm looking for the play onto Graves, but notice what I do here for the engage. Notice what I do. Notice what I waited for. I waited for the Graves to use their dash ability. But sadly, we weren't able to pick him up. That ult plus the flash, it's so hard to gap close. That's one of the hard parts about Rengar. But notice what I did there when I engaged. I waited for the Graves to use their dash first before I went for the engage. And what's the reason for that? Imagine if I just engaged onto him and used everything I had, and then the Graves used their dash away, and I don't have a good way of getting back onto him. Then they're just going to kill me because Graves will burst me down. That's pretty much a battle of burst. Who can burst each other down the fastest? So if you're not, I don't know why my teammates are resetting. Graves is literally on the bot side of the map. Plus, I take this super fast. So over here, I'm like, oh, what do I do now? I don't really know. I'm just looking for a catch out. This is a very good bush to catch people out. And if there's no warding in here, then you can definitely really burst people down. As we've seen it, when you catch people off guard, you can deal so much. Over here, the misfortune was just so close. So close. But we're able to get a good fizz ult, and now I'm looking for this drag. And I just want to show you how fast you take drags on Rengar. Like, just look at how fast you can take that. I'm easily able to burst this down, get the smite, and now I'm looking to ult around, see if I can pick anybody up. Land in the good combo. And now I'm just going to dip and take the top turret, I think. But yeah, pretty much the build that I'm going in this match, I'm literally going full glass cannon, like only crit. I think this is 100% crit build, actually. And it's literally just used to completely catch people out 1v1s and just delete them. It's not as strong in teamfights. If you want to play more for teamfights, you're going to need more defense early. Going for Guardian Angel, Spirit Visage, other items earlier will definitely be more helpful, but this build is just pure, just late game delete squishies 2 shots. So here now, I'm keeping an eye on the Senna. I want to see if the Senna is rotating. That's really what I'm looking for. I want to see if they rotate through the jungle. They're all here. The Alistar is showing himself, which the Alistar kind of gave away the positioning, so I just dip out because the Alistar really kind of screwed me over there. But now the teammates are rotating, looking for a play here, and I'm waiting for somebody to get isolated pretty much. I'm waiting for them to be by themselves and for their support to leave them, like this misfortune. They had a lucky stasis. I tried to turn back on him. They flash away. Here's another stasis and another flash. And that's so toxic to deal with. Double stasis, double flash. But now I'm keeping an eye out for this Graves. I want to see if this Graves rotates through their jungle. And notice what I do here. Again, I wait for them to use their dash first before I go onto them. And that's the only reason why I'm able to get that kill. Imagine if they had an extra dash there. There's literally no way I would have won that. I'm literally one shot. I have so much gold. I needed to shop first of all. But running away from this misfortune, getting the reset in, and I think to myself, is this misfortune? This misfortune was so thirsty for me. Oh my gosh, they really just died for that. They really, really wanted that kill, I see. But now I got a good shop in, and now is when I become super strong in these 1v1s. Or early on this build, it's decent. It's not the strongest though, as I was saying, but now is when it really starts to pick up. Once you get your second item, plus your protable or stasis or whatever, you could do so much, and we'll see that in a second now. Yeah, I'm going to go IE next and then Bloodthirster, and you guys will see. It's going to be a lot of fun is what I'll say. But now I'm just looking to pick up my red buff. Our teammates are overextending pretty far. I'm not even there. So that's kind of unfortunate on their part. But now I'm looking for pickoff. They're all really low, and I really want to find somebody here. So I'm looking for this Graves. I ult. I think I look for the ult. But when you ult, actually, you have to be very careful for the timing of your ult, because once you ult, they're going to see the mark on him, so they're going to be aware that you're probably in the area. So as you can see over here now, the Graves was aware that I was probably in the area. I was able to pick up the kill. Now I'm trying to get the reset in, see if I can get it off in time. Let's see if anybody shows up. Oh, the Senna and the Teemo both showed up. That's unfortunate. But we're able to pick up a kill. But yeah, that's something you have to be careful of, is ult when you're close enough to where you can get an engage off very soon, because if you ult from very far away and they see the mark on him, then they're going to be completely aware that you're going to ult on him, that you're going to engage onto him soon. So just be mindful of that. But actually a really good engage onto this Graves would be wait for them to use their dash and then jump on him and use your burst. And then by that time, they're going to have a second dash up. And first of all, they have so many stasises in this match. They have 5 stasis. If you didn't know, I'm checking the scoreboard right now, and they all have stasis, and that's very obnoxious to deal with as assassins because you gotta burst them down, and that stasis will stall that. But a very good engage onto the Graves would be to wait for him to use his dash, jump on him and use your combo, and then when he dashes his second time, using your protobelt to gap close that so you can keep on engaging onto him. That's a very good engage you could do. And that's honestly just why I'm building stuff like protobelt, just because I want practice for stuff like that. But stasis would probably be the better choice. So now I'm just farming up blue buff, waiting for my teammates to engage. And notice what I'm doing here again. I'm waiting for them to use their high CC abilities, and then I'm looking for these squishy ADCs. And I just completely destroy this Misfortune. They stasis. I get the drag. I'm trying to chase down this Misfortune. I'm able to. Let's see, was able to get the Senna too. Sadly, we went down. We really didn't have the numbers for that fight, but we were able to pick up the drag, and that was good. I was able to pick up 2 kills too, so it wasn't a complete loss. There's another stasis. Just everybody has stasis at this point. I'm trying to deal with it. But that's really key on a champ like Rengar, is considering what CC the enemy has and what they're going to use when you dive in. So for example, when I was talking about diving that Misfortune earlier, imagine if I dived the Misfortune with the Senna right next to him and I got rooted, then I'm stuck there for like, what is it, like 1.5 seconds? And that Misfortune is going to delete me in that time. Because this build I'm going is literally a glass cannon build. You have like no defense at all. So you can't be getting CC'd up like that. So those are just important things to consider. And things like the Ziggs ult, what else is there? The Misfortune ult. If you're in Misfortune's face, you can honestly outburst a Misfortune ult. Like, just look how fast I take stuff at this point. I don't even have my last item yet. But now I'm looking for a catch out, and this is what this build is strong at. Late game, when people are running around trying to farm stuff up, like, look at how fast I deleted that guy. He didn't even get an auto on me. Like, by the time he saw me, he was already dead. So now we're able to pick up those kills here. Sadly, the Jinx went down to the Ziggs, and now we're looking to end here. Let's see if we can get the end. Pushing down this inhib turret. It's only Teemo up. I really don't have a good engage, and this is one of the things I was mentioning a bit, is really utilizing your perk. Without your perk, you don't have much gap closing ability without your ult too, because really without your perk or your ult, you can't get onto them that easily. And you don't want to just be running up to people because they can easily kite you back. Plus you're really squishy, so that's going to be bad. So as you can see there, I kind of just had to back off, wait till I get my ult off cooldown before I could actually do anything. So now I'm looking for this top inhib turret, and Rengar can make for a very good split pusher with this build, just because, again, if anybody shows up, you can 1v1 them, plus you push down turrets like crazy. So now I actually see this Graves is coming out over here, so I set the word up, and now I'm looking for this Graves. And I'm able to burst him down again. Now I'm dipping. I realize the rest of the team is coming. I could have proto-belted out of that Ziggs ult, probably. That would have been the move. But now I'm looking to reset, and I'm running far enough back this time because I don't want this Misfortune cheesing me again. So I'm able to pick up blue, and now I'm just resetting. I have so much gold again. I get this full tier 3 item, and now I'm debating, do I want more damage or do I want armor? I'm like, I'll just get damage. Where's the fun in defense? Okay, but don't do that. Don't actually do that. I'd recommend the defense in this case, honestly. Defense would be more valuable, but I was having too much fun going, just completely one-bursting people. So now what am I doing? Again, I'm looking for these catch-outs with my teammates. I ult, and notice what I see here. I actually see the Ziggs rotating through their back of their jungle. So I actually am looking for the Ziggs right away, and I actually screwed up the engage. That was kind of a bad engage. We have the flash ults, or the flash stasis combo, like always, but we're able to completely delete them, and now we're still completely healthy. We're able to get the Misfortune too. Just trying to get out of there. Sadly could not. And yeah, you can't really tank much on Rengar. I don't know what this really is trying to do, but they're trying to backdoor or something. I don't really know. But honestly, this is one of my first Rengar matches, and I definitely want to get y'all another Rengar match once I am better in Rengar, because as I was saying, Rengar is a very high skill ceiling champ, and it definitely takes some practice. Like, I wouldn't expect to go into a match right away without having ever played Rengar and just be a complete god at Rengar, just because, again, it is a hard champ to play. And anyways, we do get the end here. But anyways, this can be it. Thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.